There is only 2/3 of In the Stiffs with us today. Gavin is on a romantic break with Mrs. Cowan.
Yeah, definitely a pain in the ass for me mum. We grew up on bare minimum, you know what I mean? We were bottom of the barrel in terms of that lived in a terrace house and all that gear, but I had a loving family. I actually had the 40-yard dash record in the whole of the organisation now. When I was 17, yeah, beat Louis Sahar. Everyone who makes it to that elite level, it isn't just purely down to physical ability. I was getting all the website built as I was testing this on my clients, so I always say my clients are like my guinea pigs and they got the brunt of it. So what I do is get into a minute freezing cold shower over my whole body, straight off, obsess over the first thing I see, so I'll make sure the first thing that I see is positive. Yeah. I make sure the first thing that I hear is positive.
That's priming yourself. You talked about earlier, Fast, when you had like 50 followers or 100 followers or something, and everyone thinks you've been an overnight success.
Yeah, well, like I used to post and get one like. Flew over from Dublin, I seen this guy's story, flying from Dublin, he's getting on a plane, said a few classes at ShredFast. Click on it, and when they see the time length of the video, if it's an hour 10, they're like, I've got time for that.
Yeah.
Even before they've done it, that was one of the reasons. So if you see 55 minutes, yeah, sweet. It's gone from you should eat breakfast to now you shouldn't eat breakfast, and it was all a lie to get you to consume food. It's what works for you.
Right, welcome everybody to another edition of In the Stiffs. There is only 2/3 of In the Stiffs with us today. Gavin is on a romantic break with Mrs. Cowan, Dave.
Yeah, prioritise his family. Disappointed.
Poor lady. We've got Deck from DW Digital with us doing the technical stuff, making his debut. So see how he gets on today. Job opportunity there, possibly further down the line, is there or not?
Possibly.
Possibly, okay. I am really excited about our guest today. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fascinating for our listeners and our viewers, because we're getting big on YouTube now, aren't we? So viewers. Dave, do you want to introduce our guest?
Yeah. Firstly, we're in Liverpool. Beautiful city, and we're recording today with someone with a little bit of a different story to what we usually tell. He was an academy player and scholar at Everton Football Club before getting into the fitness industry and creating one of the fastest growing fitness platforms in the world. He's faced mental health challenges, fought in Thailand, he's braved the frosty peaks of Poland with Wim Hof. So from football to MMA, cage fighting, boxing, athletics, all the way to being a major player in the health and fitness industry with hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. Welcome to the podcast, the founder of ShredFast, Luke Powell.
Thank you very much for having me, boys.
That's a nice introduction. That was a good introduction, wasn't it?
Was, you know. I think that's got to be up there with the best. That's the best I've had, definitely.
Luke, we'll start off right with your childhood, if that's all right. I do know this information about you. You got expelled from school as a kid, so I'm presuming you weren't like the model student and the model kid, so you were paying for your mum.
Yeah, definitely a pain in the ass for my mum. So I wasn't I wasn't a bad lad. Do you know what I'm saying? I wasn't out there causing absolute mischief and on the streets all the time because I love football too much for that. So all I used to want to do was play football. And because of my love for football, I just wouldn't go to school, and when I was at school, all I could think about was football, and I was just so obsessed with being a footballer and convinced that I was going to be a footballer that school was just forget school. So it was more so, even the teachers used to say themselves, I just couldn't keep my mouth shut, I couldn't sit still, and I still to this day don't know how you'd expect it to sit still for 6 hours in school as a child. Energy's buzzing, you're in your element with all your mates. How are you supposed to sit there, imagine? Think about it logically, like outside the school, and sit around this table now and sit 10-year-olds and say, don't talk to each other, don't move, don't play, don't do nothing. And it's just crazy, and then they learn about something you don't want to learn. So for me, it was more so just like innocently mischievous, but I always had a good relationship with most of the teachers and stuff, and it got to the point where they just said to me, listen, we can't do this no more. You're disrupting all the class, you're disrupting your friends. We've got to.
What age was that? Was that late?
The last year it was. So it was called extended study leave because.
Did you do the GCSEs?
Exactly. So they give me I just ended up getting 7 months off where everyone else got 6 weeks. So it was all good for me. I just literally went home and my mum, because I had the scholar guaranteed at the time, even my mum was a bit like, okay, I'm not happy with you, but
you had a guaranteed job,
to go and play football after this, so it's not like I was jobless. So that's how it started with school being expelled. So I don't want to paint a picture, because a lot of people as well were playing that, won't they? Got expelled. I had a beautiful, amazing family, great upbringing, although didn't have a dad, and we grew up on bare minimum, you know what I mean? We were bottom of the barrel in terms of Dad lived in a terrace house and all that gear, but I had a loving family, got taught good models, you know what I'm saying? We lived with my nan and my mum and my 3 uncles and my auntie.
All live together?
Yeah. So like there was me, my mum and my auntie in one bedroom, my 3 uncles in the other bedroom and my nan in the box room. So that's how we grew up in Old Swan. So
that's mad.
But it was close together.
Couldn't have asked for anything better, you know what I mean? They gave me, my mum did everything she could.
You talk about your auntie, is that Helen you're talking about? So you call her your sister, don't you?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we shared the bedroom till I was 9 years old. Do you know what I mean? So it was there on the top bunk and me and my mum sharing the bottom bunk.
Yeah.
So like I was also, we built that relationship where it was far beyond me auntie. She just felt like a sister to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like, on someone listening to that, I think that's hard upbringing, but it was full of love and everything. Full of love, as well.
Bro, yeah. And obviously it was tough in the sense of, in retrospect, when you look back, you could never invite friends to stay in your house and stuff, because how do you? When I come and
come in between me and my mum.
So, and there was a couple of little tough points, and obviously I always used to wonder where my dad was and why my dad wasn't about, and as I say, it was, I mean, again, I'm not going to sit here and push it on either side, it just was what it was. I definitely had some tough times, which I wouldn't really even bring up on this, and seeing my uncles go through things that were again, in retrospect, definitely have had an effect on me growing up, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there was a lot of ups and downs with the family itself, but I was always shown massive love and appreciation and always pushed to try and achieve my dreams.
And that childhood will help shape who you are today, wouldn't it? Like 100%. if you'd had a silver spoon, or it'd have been even worse than that, you hadn't had love, who knows where you would have ended up.
100%.
Could be in the bottom of Mersey out there.
Exactly, but exactly though, I honestly, I wouldn't change anything for the world. I don't think regret gets you anywhere. I just think it's a lesson learned.
So you had your football then, obviously when you were younger.
Yeah.
So like, we've got boys who play football and we kind of play a massive part in their life, kind of driving them. Did you have, see that your dad wasn't around, did you have that father figure or someone to push you in that way?
Helen's husband, John.
Okay.
They were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time when I was growing up, and I idolised him. He was like, he was in the Marines, and he was fit and strong, and he trained all the time, and he was like the best thing since sliced bread for me. So he inspired me early on to be a man. Like, I just wanted to be like him.
Yeah.
The dynamics were difficult in the sense of when I was being at a pain in the arse, so to speak, in school and just generally, he wouldn't discipline me. He'd only give me the good, so he'd buy me a football, which take me to football. But then when it come to discipline, he'd say, listen, I'm not his dad. And he'd say that to me, I'm not your dad. So we just wouldn't say nothing. And that's where I needed someone to be strong on me and say no. I had no fear because it was just my nan, my mum, Helen, who would kind of guiding me, which, you know yourself, when your dad, I've seen it all my life. When I go to my friend's house and the dad had raised a voice, that was it, everything stopped. I never had that type of thing, which I think would have definitely guided me and probably pushed me on, made me a little bit more disciplined, a little bit more straight-headed at a younger age. But again, it's been brilliant for me to not have experienced that, and then now I feel like that's the role I play amongst all my peers.
Yeah.
And
your father as well,
any young men. Yeah, I am a father now to 2 beautiful girls, and any young men within my vicinity, I always try to father them, big brother them, whatever you want to call it. I'll do everything I can to make sure that they succeed in life. Like that's how I think that's what that taught me. That dynamics of growing up is what has pushed me into being the character that I am. Yeah.
So you football, you're obviously physically fit now. Were you always like that?
Yeah, I was always physically gifted, that very quick, athletic, powerful, but skinny as anything.
Striker.
Still am. Striker, yeah. So,
so physically, would you say like you're in the top like 1% anyway, or naturally born physically good?
So, yeah, it definitely would to a certain extent, but at the same time, I had so many little small injuries growing up as a kid. Osgood slatters, I'd like roll my ankle all the time. I had these small little niggas. I was only speaking about this with Connie yesterday, walking around the park. I broke my elbow in half when I was 14 at Derby away, playing for the academy. What else did I do? There's loads of different injuries, can't even think off the top of my mind now, but loads of big injuries happened that used to set me back in a physical way. and I feel
like you find that with a lot of people who are physically gifted, that they're almost like finely tuned, a bit like a racehorse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like Michael Owen and that, like pulling your hamstrings and all that sort of thing.
That's exactly how I felt.
You're playing on the edge all the time, aren't you? Because your body gives you that ability to really push itself.
So up until, to answer your question, like the 1%, up until I was say 13, I would say it wasn't. That's the year I got signed for Everton.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a double whammy. That's when I got me good in my knees. I started feeling my hips were unbalanced. So then we found out that I had the leg indifference and stuff. So that affected the way I was running. Up until that point, I had every national record in school. I used to win. I used to win the 65 metres run, this in juniors, and then I'd run off after that and then go and win the high jump, and go and win the long jump, and then come back for the relay and win the relay for us. So yeah, I definitely was in that sense. And then I had that little small period of my body finding itself, and then I always say again, I was speaking to Connor, if I'd have had that extra year, if the 23s had been a thing back then, I think I would have. It would have been a totally different story because I started to grow into myself around 21.
Yeah. So you were obviously a good footballer when you were younger. You went to Everton. What was that like then? So obviously you were super fast, super fit at Everton from 13, wasn't it? 13
yeah.
All the way through. Did your scholarship.
Yeah.
And then, is there any, like, how did you find that being in that football environment for 5 years?
Completely out of my comfort zone, to be honest with you. Honestly, because I went from Sunday League. I scored 55 goals in the one season. I think I only played 20 games. So I was just scoring for fun. It was too easy. It was too easy at the time, scoring 4 or 5 goals a game. Went into the big fish then, and like I was so insecure as a child. I really was. I was so insecure and mentally weak. So my confidence just went through the floor. My body felt like it was falling apart at the same time. Probably a response to the stress I used to feel because I used to get so anxious, do you know what I mean? So,
are you anxious because you think the other lads are as good as you, or just lack of confidence in yourself?
Exactly that. I thought like I wasn't good enough to be here. I didn't feel like I fitted in. I didn't feel...
That chemical reaction then in your body.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to have some effect, hasn't it? And you'd freeze up on the pitch there. I just couldn't get the ball under control. I'm thinking, what's wrong with me?
Yeah. And you start overthinking.
I was just like, I felt like Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
And then the next minute, like, I can't control the ball. But again, in retrospect, you just think if I had the mindset I had now, I would have been a world beater. But it's never going to be the case as a young child. So I played for Country Park, which was my Sunday League team, up until 13, got scouted, and then felt like my whole football ability just fell apart at that age.
And then obviously as a scholar, you're full-time, you train every single day. When you struggled through your scholarship?
No, so that's where I kind of came into myself. The last couple of games, under 16s, I started to find me form, find confidence. Started putting them in, scored a couple in a couple of games, and just got that confidence of the lads and myself. So going into my scholarship, I was flying. And it was the year that I got expelled. That's when I just went into my back garden and robbed the weights bench out of the...
Tell us that story.
So the ball where we used to play at the top of the street in my nan's, the ball used to go over all the time, so it went over into this house, but the house it was derelict, the house, no one lived there. Or a guy did live there, but he must have just had the house, got left it maybe by his mum, he'd passed or something, so he'd just come every now and again, but didn't live there. So the back was all overgrown and everything, it was a mess, and there was a weights bench in there. So months went by, I just kept seeing it, so I was like, I've got to get this weights bench. I want to get big. This is when I'd seen Victor and Achibi launching people about. So I was
he a few years older than you?
Yeah. So like, I was like, I've got to get this weights bench. Jumped over, turfed it out, and then I just had a mop bucket. A mop off a... took the head off and sellotaped bottles of Coke at the end with water. And then like I can't remember if I put sand in, but either way, anyway, I made it.
They acted as your weights.
And I was like that, pumping it up. And then my mum used to work for, it's called Very now, but it's called Littlewoods at the time. So I begged my mum for weeks and weeks to order me some dumbbells and the proper bar, and eventually got that. So I had my weights bench in the back garden. And the whole summer when I got expelled, I just press ups, pull-ups. I had a basketball and I did my pull-ups on the basketball and I got in great shape, you know.
That was your super strength then when you were on a apprentice, like everyone's like, wow.
Yeah, I remember that my first day, scholar, I walked in and it was all the older lads emailing you and that, you might know who they are, and Scott Phelan and stuff like that. they were there, and they took me top off, and everyone was like, wow, have you seen this kid here? 'Cause they were like 19, I was buzzing, man. I was like, yeah, all that hard work paid off. But I got a bad injury again in the beginning of that pre-season. Put me out for about 4 months, and then both pre-seasons got injured in my scholar.
So important pre-season, so important.
Got injured 2-3 weeks into the pre-seasons of both, which gave me about 4 months out, and that definitely affected getting back into the team and getting the feel of it. But wasn't a great experience, and definitely wasn't one of the best. It was probably one of the lesser in terms of ability, well, in terms of performance, in terms of ability. Kev Sheedy used to sing me praises privately so much. He used to always take me aside and, look, if you can just get this, just get your mind right. And because this is when I started to go from, like when I said I was just mischievous, I started to be a bit of a head the ball. When I was 17, as you started to become a man, I did start to go a little bit off the rails at this point.
Is that to do with mates a little bit, or alcohol?
No, I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say so with it, no. I can't blame it on anyone. It was just purely, it was just me. I can't really think now of anything that started to pull me. I just thought that was my way of fitting in, was being the mad one. So we just developed this.
As your belonging.
So you're searching for a bit of belonging.
So,
tell us what, because I heard you say about Taff or something, when someone had a little pop at you because of your content.
The gym? Yeah, so Andy Taffnall is his name. Big guy, I think it was Andy Taffnall anyway, I just knew him as Taff. When I was injured on one of them pre-seasons, so I was just in the gym every single day, I couldn't really do much, and I come out the gym, I went into the kit room to get something, and I was pumped up, like obviously off the session we'd just done, and he went, look at the size of him, what the fuck are you doing? You need to be out there, never mind in the gym. And just proper cut me down in front of everyone for about 5 minutes. And like I just left and just thought like, I thought, how do I win here? Like, where do I go here? Like, I can't do anything.
But that resonates, it's the weird things, football mentality, isn't it? Like, I don't know whether it's a bit of jealousy or what is it, but like you would get people doing that, wouldn't you? For I don't know what, I don't really know the purpose of that. Like, is it to try and bring you down a peg or two, stop getting a big head? But it just seems so counterproductive now, doesn't it?
Probably just thinking, I want you on the pitch. I think they've seen a bit of ability in me athletically too. But
wrong way of doing it though, isn't it? Like, you just say like amazing, like look how you look unbelievable. So keep going with that. But on the pitch, keep practicing your shooting and do all that, and like you go, yeah, thanks mate.
You just needed a little.
Yeah.
When you're injured though, like I had quite a few injuries when I was playing, and the gym becomes your focus. You need something to focus on, can't you? Because it's so depressing looking outside and seeing everyone train.
I'm not gonna lie.
The gym was that bit where you can go and like get a bit of energy out and stuff.
But I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I half like being injured because I could go to the gym.
Yeah.
So we probably felt a little bit of that too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I just loved the gym so much and I wanted to just be a monster. So I was obsessed with getting strong and powerful because I was so thin all the way through growing up. I definitely never faked an injury. That's just not in my, I wouldn't be able to do that. That's not in my DNA. I could never fake an injury. But when I was injured, I was just like, is what it is, and like I loved the gym. So I come out with a smile on my face where you wanted you walking around like this if you were injured.
Yeah.
And
I was happy.
Was your gym work for your football, or was it more like I just want to be strong, big, everything I wanted to be as a kid?
You know, because I used to want to like throw people, like I used to think, because I used to see them players that would like back up and like win those headers, and I thought that's what I want to be. I want to be that guy who can muscle someone, you can just get in behind and put someone on the floor and score a goal. I wanted to be that powerhouse up front.
Who were the big players at Everton when you were sort of in the first team at that
Louis
sort of?
Saha, Yakubu,
So again, players like that, aren't they? And the way Everton played with Moyes, was it? So I imagine the way they played was like that, wasn't it?
They were a big, strong team.
Yeah.
I actually had the 40-yard dash record in the whole of the organisation
Did you?
when I was 17, beat Louis Saha. Who else was quick? Big then. Trying to think who else was quick. There's a couple of quick players in the team. I think Jolyon Lescott may have even been there at the time. But I had the 40-yard dash over everybody, and then a lad, Femi Onaguru, don't know if you know who he is. He came through the ranks a couple of years after me, and he beat it apparently.
It's mad, like, even then though, even though you're fighter, you're probably, like, you're not completely focused on the football, you're probably more interested in the gym, aren't you, rather than being on the football pitch, aren't you? So then you think it's probably not for you then, is it, already?
Definitely, and I think the coaches probably sensed that a little bit, but then at the same time, as I say, like Kev Sheedy would pull me and say,
that's good.
You've got the ability here, Luke, let's just get on it, do you know what I mean? But
so how were you when you found out you got released? Because obviously this is a journey that so many footballers go through at some point in their career, and not many actually get to a pro level.
Yeah, well,
But how did you take it?
But this is where it's hard, because it almost sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but that was in my early first year. The second year I was quite similar, but then towards about 3-4 months into the season, I developed this love and want again to just play football. I just loved football again. Found my confidence, found my voice, found who I was, and started just putting the goals in. I scored some like worthy goals and performed out of this world in a number of games. And it got to the point, because I'd had me injured, they said, we're not going to tell you if you've got your contract or not. When we tell everyone, we're going to give you another month or two. And within that extra month or two, I scored a lot of goals again, performed very well. So everyone in the whole team was convinced I was getting a pro.
Yeah.
I was convinced I was getting a pro. There wasn't a doubt in my mind. So I was heartbroken when I got told, which sounds a little bit contradictory of how I'm speaking now. But I honestly did perform so well, and anyone who was there at the time would tell you that. And because when I got told, he came in and said, Luke, Ray wants to see you. And everyone was like, you're going to get it. And then everyone started saying, how long do you reckon you get? How much money do you... There wasn't one person said, do you reckon you're going to get one?
Yeah.
That's how much of it I can't...
Which makes the fall even worse, like, isn't it?
Especially when all the lads are saying, and it's not just me, because I was thinking it. I was thinking, I wonder if I'm going to get a 1 year or a 2 year. I wonder if I'm going to get a $450 a week or $650 a week, because that was the... And I went up, and he didn't even beat around the bush. He just said, we're not going to offer you one, and it just went...
And you've got to go back into the lads. And
But you're not supposed to tell them without the parents there at the time, and he did. And so I walked out, I was on my own.
That's awful, isn't it?
Mike Dickinson, do you know him?
Yeah.
He's the education welfare officer, so he loved me, always did have a soft spot for me, and he seen me when I come out crying my eyes out. And he lost the plot then, and couldn't believe that I'd been told on my own, and he raised up a big fuss about it. And
was that the norm though? Would all the boys get told on their own, or was it you just because you were later?
Because I was later, and he just thought, we'll just tell him now.
Yeah.
Everyone got brought into the office. It was when everyone was getting told, I remember it. They were getting pulled into the office with the mums and dads or parents there. It was on a set day. I don't think we were even in that day. I think they got called in for that to be told. So mine was just like random, just finished.
So you're on your own, and then you got to go back into the change rooms as well.
Yeah, I went back into the change rooms.
I bet you're kind of emotionally
I just
ready
crying my eyes off. So I got myself together, went in. Duffy went, how long? I said, I didn't get one. And he was like, shut up, lad. How long? I was like, lad, I didn't get one. And he all kept prodding me, thinking I was doing the little, and then saying, I got one. I was like, boys, I didn't fucking get one, do you know what I mean?
That's the worst,
I broke down, and everyone was hugging me and that, because at that point, I had become the life and soul. I was the main guy, to be honest with you, in the changes. Everyone loved me. Everyone absolutely loved me, and that was when the energy that I carry still through to this day was starting to come into play. Like the infectious, high energy. I'd found who I was. I thought, this is the start of like my life and everything, and it was just like, boom, just got told. So I was disappointed. The lads were absolutely devastated. Do you know what I mean? To the point where they all flew in and paid for me to go on holiday with them that year.
That's nice. It's nice little gestures like that, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so I've been released and they all flew in. And I went to Zante with them for one last hoorah before I left.
What does that do to you?
It broke me, to be honest, because I just, again, I'd found such a love back for it, and then it was just boom, back down to there. So then now I just didn't want nothing to do with the game again. And at that point though, I was like, well, I've kind of got to have something to do with the game now. I've got no other choice, and the realisation started to set in that I've got nothing else yet.
You got an agent or anything like that? You got an agent or nothing? You're just by yourself, aren't you? Young kid, just like, you haven't even got a dad or anything to guide you, just like...
Nothing at all. There was no intercession, no agent or anything like that.
The club kind of put you in touch with other clubs at this point, lower league clubs, non-league clubs?
I went to this event, like, I think it was just down south somewhere, and you stayed there for 3-4 days and played a few matches and
exit trials.
Is that what it's called? Exit trials. Got loads of interest from that. Lincoln went down, played for Lincoln. Lincoln offered me a contract, but it was in Lincoln that day. And I remember going through the town and just like, I can't live here. Couldn't live there. I was just
miles
so young and naive, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't take that up. And then I just stopped playing. I just didn't play. And then a couple of years after it all, back when I was about 20, I went to Barrow. Ended up getting a contract at Barrow. I just got this lease of life one day and said, I'm going to get back into football. And went on trial at Barrow, got a year contract and played there. And then that's when my love officially diminished.
How might have things been different then, do you think? If you'd got a contract at Everton, do you think you would have been like, right, I'm banging into this football and like...
100%. I think the momentum of that with my athletic ability, the confidence that would have gave me, having a little bit of money, maybe getting myself a car, just that uplift as a young man, I think, because you know yourself, boys, it's all about confidence. Sport is all about confidence. So I was just starting to really get confident, and that would have just been the icing on the cake, and I really could have came into my own then. But I wasn't good enough at the end of the day to actually would have given me one. And I'm so happy I didn't get that contract, man.
Looking back at the time, it's horrendous.
What has that done for you mentally then? What's the positives that have come out of that?
It showed me that you get out what you put in. So you can't just have a little good run, a last little 4 months of the last part of the season. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had 2 years there to put in the work and I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't do what I needed to do. Injury or not, I didn't perform when I needed to perform. Didn't go to school when I was asked to go to school. I was coming in with black eyes. I'd been fighting when I was out and stuff like that. I just didn't perform.
So during the scholarship, you go to college and things, you didn't do that?
Didn't go. So I went to college, literally, about 4 times. Yeah. And it was every Wednesday, so think about how many times.
Yeah. What, you just go home?
I wouldn't go, I wouldn't answer the phone to go into the coach to get picked up. Yeah. So Rob, his name was, Rob Powell, he'd phone. He'd go, you coming in? Because he didn't care. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He just had to wait for 5 minutes.
The driver.
And then, and then go, you coming in, Luke? No, Rob. And then put the phone down, and then Mike would just text me a question mark every Wednesday. Who just said Mike Dickinson.
Yeah.
I just get a question mark off him every Wednesday, and I just spend the day in. And then I always remember Kev Sheedy saying to me, why do you think you're any different than everyone else? Why do you think you don't have to come in? And I didn't have an answer.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to go in.
But is that helped build your resilience for later life now, hasn't it?
All of it has just made me just learn valuable lessons, yeah. I don't know the specifics of how and what made me this, but certain things happened within my time at Everton that, like, a certain situation made me think to myself, I'm never ever going to be walked on again. I'm never going to be disrespected ever again. Like, I'll demand respect for the rest of my life. Been disrespected since, I'm not going to sit here and say I haven't. But that mentality was installed and I set about just, I'm going to make everyone respect me. I'm going to command the room. I'm going to walk with my chest up instead of always walking with my head down like I used to. Something changed in that last 6 months at Everton where
it's, we had Drew Broughton, I don't know, you know, Drew Broughton, like the fear coach he does, you know, he talks about like healthy disrespect and about like the importance of like not just trying to fit in and actually like puffing your chest out and standing up and actually going, I'm not just going to follow the crowd, I'm not going to be a sheep, I'm going to do something different. But I think we all think if we look back now, don't we, think about our time, if we could have been more like that. But it's hard, isn't it, when you're conditioned and you're in there.
Too many times in the football world, you're trying to fit in, which is probably the worst thing to do.
Yeah.
They want the best players in the world, don't fit in.
But like you say, just walk into a room and like command respect, don't let people talk to you like rubbish, don't accept like just being a sheep. I don't expect someone belittling you or someone like having a pop at the way, like, oh, you look good, but it's rubbish.
Yeah, well, it's like, as soon as you're confident now, people are like, he's having himself in, isn't he?
Yeah.
What's wrong with having yourself in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ronaldo has himself. As himself.
Yeah.
I reckon Messi has himself. I reckon all these top performing athletes, Usain Bolt,
themselves. It's not arrogance, it's self-belief, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? Yourself. How could, if you were the best, you're having yourself and you know you're the best.
Yeah.
Everyone's telling you the best, and then you start to know it, and then that momentum just takes you to heights that you can't even dream imaginable. And that's my point. Everyone who makes it to that elite level, it isn't just purely down to physical ability. You put a bunch of 100-meter sprinters, everyone's drawn up until the 40-meter mark. Yeah. Everyone. So you start, and it's like that, isn't it? It's tight. It's only after those 40 yards that you start to see the elite, and then you're talking 0.01 seconds between all of them. Did you see the race of the day?
Yeah.
Every single person under 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking. So you've got the confidence that you have to gain to win that 0.01 second. You've got to like believe wholeheartedly that you're going to win it. And my point is that I think what separates them is more self-belief and confidence than it is ability. Because I believe once you get to a certain level, anyone can win, and everyone's quite similar.
And do you feel you had that when you left Everton, or was there a moment after that you read something or you spoke to somebody or something which kind of clicked? You thought, no, I need to change.
I had just an interaction with someone where they used to call me Wes Brown, when I was a kid and I didn't like getting called Wes Brown, like ginger and mixed race, so like I was that was just the little running joke, and someone called me and I just said don't call me that, because they kept calling and they knew I didn't like it, and I just stood up and kind of stood up for myself. And it is cliche, it's like it's what everyone says, you stand up to the bully, but it's so true, and that's why it's held so much weight over the centuries, because it does work. If you stand up to the bully, if you say no, like do not say that to me again, they usually stop. It's only the person that puts their head down, they carry on and carry on and carry on. So that was a day in my life where I didn't stand for it anymore, and I just said, do not call me, and nobody did. And there's a couple of other little occasions during training sessions and in matches when someone would really get on your back, like one of the lads, and I'd turn around to them and say, like, do not speak to me like that, or I'd stand my ground firm, and he never did it again. And it was just a couple of times, and I just earned more respect, and it gradually just became kind of like, like one of the main lads in the changes in the end, towards the end, because I'd earned that respect, I'd chugged away at it, you know what I mean? So, it taught me to, you earn, especially in a testosterone-fueled male.
Male, toxic sometimes, really, isn't it?
You've got to like claw your way to the top. It's not a case of just, I'm a good person, or I'm good at this. Exactly back to my point before, that you've got to have something different that sets you apart. It's all well and good being a nice guy, doing things right, turning up every single day, like performing well, but you've got to have that little something different if you really want to become elite at whatever it is that you do. Like there's a great saying, he said, it's not what you know anymore, it's how you say it. Because everyone's got Google, haven't you? So it comes down to information is pretty useless. If I'm on social media, I can just get a picture of a nice meal, chat GPT something good about that specific meal, and write a caption, and Bob's your uncle. So it's not what you know anymore, but it's about your personality that makes people think, he knows what he's talking about, or because we're all basically saying the same thing. In the health and fitness game now, there's only so many ways you can eat that is considered healthy before you run out of options.
And you
can potatoes, your rices, your chicken, your beefs, how many different ways can you spin that? So what people invest into more is people. People invest in the person.
I think most people know, I mean, I'm not like, I don't know the industry well, but most people know how to keep reasonably fit these days, don't you? It's not like rocket science, try and eat a bit healthier. There's that much information out there now. So would you say your biggest strength then, like, is your self-belief now then, and you're in business and everything like that, is your like, that's your super strength 100%. Now, self-belief, you back yourself in a room speaking with everyone.
100%, like, that's exactly my strength. And also the energy, I feel that I work on my energy specifically, I work on protecting my energy, and that goes so much deeper. That's like, we could fill a whole podcast talking about that, but that's something that I'm so big on that I don't think people are aware of, is protecting your own energy. It's not okay to be around these people who drain you all the time. It's not okay to have conversations that demoralise you and your soul. It's not okay to eat foods that bring your energy levels down and destroy your cells and promote disease in the body and stuff. These things aren't okay to just do every day. I think, but just gotta do it. I'm rushed. It's just is what it is. I can't do nothing. That's where I work. Or you can't.
Excuses.
You can stop these things, or you can learn techniques where you literally just put up a barrier and just eliminate them.
So you're trying to create an environment in all aspects of your life to raise your energy.
So I prime my environment to just be the best that I can possibly be, and that comes with a lot of backlash. You know what I mean? Because I just simply won't answer the phone to someone, for example. Not at all. I could have promised them, but then the last time I've spoke to you, you absolutely drew the life out of me. So it's like, no.
We'll probably get a bit ahead of it. So you would have situations in your life where people you call friends, but you know it's not, they haven't got good energy around you. You've almost had to kind of just dismiss them from your life.
Done.
Yeah.
We've had this before. It's fascinating. We have had this before, haven't we? Of certain people like high achievers who are like, just not having these people in my life, like they're bringing nothing to me.
But the thing is, it goes to, so I've gone through different phases in life, and I've got Connor and Duffy, they're my best friends, and I've made loads of more friends and lost friends, and all different things have happened. But one thing I would say is you stay true to your real friends and your brothers, but what you do is you let them know the boundaries. So if they're not for you, in an energy match, it's like, I'm here for you no matter what. But like, I can't be around you all the time.
Yeah.
I can't like live with you, for example, or I can't just be out with you all the time every weekend having a pint with you. Or you've got to just set those boundaries, and there's a way to do that. I think that you can still keep a really solid friendship.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I do, and it's always a great bit of advice, because people come on these podcasts and say all this, but I find when I used to watch it, I used to be like, that's great listening, but then no one would give an actual specific course of action to take.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, you need to prime your environment, but everyone might be sitting here watching thinking, but how?
Yeah.
So to me, a good bit of advice I always gives, if you've got an energy drainer in your life, it's a very simple thing you can do is figure out where they're at the best, what environment do they seem to thrive in. So for argument's sake here, as people get older, i.e. your grandma, your granddad, they seem to be a bit doom and gloom, don't they? That seems to be the tendencies.
Yeah.
But for me, like, my nan's absolutely amazing. She doesn't fall in this category, but she loves flowers. She loves gardens. So for me, if I go to a house sometimes and she can be a bit down, I'd rather take me nan to a garden and walk around, and her energy is completely different. Yeah. So instead of going to her house and feeling like my energy is a little bit drained when I come out possibly, I'll pick her up and say, Nan, let's go for a walk around the garden in the sun, and then let's get some nice food and tea, take her home. She's happy as Larry. I've not had any dip in energy. So you need to assess your people who are draining your energy, figure out if there's a way that you can lift their energy as well, because it's important not to just like the captain leaving the ship, like, because it's a case of like, you know, the captain's supposed to sink with the ship. That's how brotherhoods can be formed. It's like, I'll sink with you, but it's important that you don't just jump first thing. You try and help them as best you can, but in the end you can't sink with them.
No.
Or her, because it's your life.
Yeah.
You've got a family now too, you know what I mean? You've got kids, and so how can you sync with your brother?
Yeah.
You've got to change it. So it's, but I definitely say always come with me, and that's what I've always done too. So throughout these years where I've lost people, I've still put my hand out to them multiple times. Please come with me on this journey. I know where I'm heading, and I'm not saying this even in a financial aspect or a success. I'm talking about spiritually. I'm elevating to a different frequency now. Come with me, man, because I can't just keep returning to your level, because it's draining the life out of me. They choose to come. We're still friends. The people who don't choose to come, you can stay
but they've had opportunities.
Yeah, and I wish them all the best. And I spiritually pray for them, and I hope that they eventually find happiness, because that I would never wish bad on anyone, regardless of the past with them.
You say about spiritually there, like, are you religious at all then?
Yeah, I've recently, not this January, gone the one before, I reverted to Islam. So yeah, I chose Islam because it was very disciplined and in line with a lot of my beliefs that I already felt. And then I started to get more Muslim friends just by chance. Didn't seek them out. I ended up sparring with a few lads when I was doing a fight, and I'm getting to know there. And then Khabib was on his rise, and I used to look into not just what you saw, because that'd be very naive, like just for him to sit there and talk that he's a Muslim. I used to look deep and look into how they trained, how they ate, how they lived their life, what they done after training, before training, and I was fascinated by it. When I seen the brotherhood, I just love brotherhood. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with really just having your brothers back, like no matter what, and I love that aspect of Islam. I love the discipline of it, the food, the way you can't eat food that's not blessed. I love blessing my food. I always have blessed my food since I can remember. I bless my food, and washing. I used to always think it was such a euphoric feeling to wash, to bathe. For me, taking a shower is much more than taking a shower. And I think for every person out there, it should be. You shouldn't just be in the shower. It's like there's a certain way to wash. Start in your head, you go down, you wash, you clean your ears, clean your nose, you rinse your mouth out. You even rinse your nose out through the water up and spit it out, and you just come out and you feel completely revitalised. There's just so many aspects of it that I love. But I'd never push a religion on anybody and stuff like that, hence why it's not the main topic on the likes of social media and stuff, because I am who I am, and my relationship with God is for me and my family. But yeah, I'm a Muslim man now, and I'm very proud to be.
So you feel like you elevate your friends, but your friends now as well, they elevate you, so you're in such a productive like social 100%. Group now.
Yeah, not just even around my friends, just like where we are at ShredFast, it's just just full of high achievers, high performing.
And that's been the key to success for your business as well.
100%.
So your personal life,
my business partner said.
your business life, all tied in.
Yeah, exactly. So, and as I say, for people watching to kind of take a note of something that they can actually put into practice if they may be an entrepreneur or a business owner. My business partner, when I first took over Heal Wellbeing, which is in town just down the road, he said a lot of the staff won't stay for the full shift, and because he wasn't in the country at the time, he's like, they just leave, etc. And he said, like, how do we get them to stay? We were talking. I said, you need to make them not want to leave. I said, you've got to change your perspective now. How can we get them to stay? Make them not want to leave in the first place. So we done everything. I got a staff room made, I got saunas put in, I got ice bath there, I ripped out the gym, made the gym better, I created places we could sit, I created a coffee shop, I just made everything primed for people to not want to leave, and now I can't even leave myself. Well, the amount of times I'm late for things because I just can't leave. I'm having a coffee and I just don't want to leave. I was laughing one of the girls yesterday, the amount of times. Right, I'm off, I'll see you later. 2 hours later, Amy's just still sat there. I came, thought you was going. She was like, I was going to, but I just stayed my clients in again now, so I'm gonna. And she went to leave yesterday. She went, right, I'm off. I said, Amy, you know you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? We always have a little running joke. We're like, there's something pulls you in. You go to the door and you're like, where am I really going here? Because that's what I found. So when you've got a group of personal trainers, what they'll do is if they PT them, then you finish a set amount of clients. It's like, right, I'm going home for a few hours. In the end, they're like, why am I going home? I can read a book in here, I can have a coffee, I can have some food, I can do a little session myself, I can get a sauna. So
more productive.
So now we've got a group of people who just stay in this environment morning till night and don't want to leave, and that's where the magic happens.
So you've obviously come out such a huge way from as a person from leaving football to where you are now. Did you go straight into designing ShredFast when you left?
No,
trying to find yourself for a little bit?
Yeah. I went on a crazy journey. I've just done when I was 18, and I just did your usual typical lad stuff for a good few years and lost myself completely. Partying, drink, drugs, everything you can think of, and getting myself into trouble with definitely the wrong people. I
think it's important that you've done that though, because if you haven't done that, it's like it's hard for you then to lecture somebody on to talk about it, because you're like, I've been where you've been.
Exactly.
How, like, if you haven't walked in their shoes, it's a lot harder when you can give advice now going, I've done what you've done, lads. I've been here and done this and got yourself involved with that.
You know yourself in football when an armchair fan says, like, you should have done, you're just like, shut up.
You don't
Please just be quiet. That's one of the reasons I fell out of love with football, because after it, and I'd be going to the pub and having a drink with the lads when I'd stop playing, and I'd listen to people talking, but I still knew a million times more than all the people in the pub, because I was an ex-player, and I'd just be like, you just don't know what you're talking about, so I'll start watching the football completely. And I just used this as an excuse to go out and have a drink then. But definitely, I feel like I just followed the crowd, did all the wrong things, made all the mistakes, but again, in retrospect, I wouldn't change it for the world, because it's primed me now and give me that valuable experience that I can then pass on to other people, especially the young men. That's what I really try my best to do, is show the young men. And it's a really fine line, isn't it, though, with guiding the young lads through football, because it's like, you can sit there and say, don't do this, don't do that, but you know yourself how valuable those fuck-ups in your life were. And if you don't make them when you're young, you're probably going to have a midlife crisis when you're older. It's crazy. So I always find it's like, I'm not sitting there saying I could be an angel, because I'm like, your 20s when you're a man, you've got to be a little bit. You've got to have a little bit of craziness and go through those ups and downs in life. And if everything was too prim and proper, I'm pretty sure that it'd probably have a detrimental effect. So I always try and find that balance of saying, I can't just say, don't do this because I know that it's bad for you. I have to say, this is how it affected me. And if I could go back now, I probably wouldn't do this, or I'd have done that slightly different. But I definitely don't like boom, boom, boom. Because I don't think I've got any right to.
It's hard to get that balance, wasn't it? It's that like famous Marvin Hagler saying, isn't it? It's hard to go for a run at 4 in the morning when you're sleeping in silk sheets or something, whatever it is, isn't it? Because it's like with our kids, isn't it? You want to give them a nice life, and it's like we live like in like middle class Shrewsbury now, and it's all lovely and that, isn't it? But you still want your kids to be tough and resilient and a bit edgy. But how can you be like that when you're not providing that environment for them, isn't it? So you want to try and guide them a little bit, but also I want you to make a few mistakes. I need you to go on a lad's holiday. I need you to get mouth off to someone bigger and get filled in, because that's how you learn your lessons, isn't it? But you just, it's a balancing act.
My most valuable lessons come from exactly that, really, just messing with the wrong people,
the wrong lad,
just more so in the sense of like not physically do with like these big guys, but just the wrong people. And I could never like, if I thought anyone was doing anything to like one of my friends, or I thought that I was always the first. As I say, I was obsessed with brotherhood since I was a kid, so that got me into so many situations there, so many. And that again gives me the ability to guide the young lads through. Because I've been there and done it. And I'm like, the last place that you want to be is in these nights out, in these clubs where, especially now with the knives and the erratic behaviour of people and the drugs and stuff, and it's just, I really try and keep them away from that. I'm like, if you're going to go and have a drink, like, by all means, like, enjoy your life and do whatever is right for you, but try and do it in the right environment, try and do it with the right people, and try not to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Easier said than done, but I think there's places you can go that are much less likely to have certain type of people in, and I just try and guide them in that sense. And that's all I can do, really, from the experience.
I've heard you talk about changing the paradigm. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Like my family's paradigm. So I believe that families, you're in a, for generation after generation, unless someone starts to think differently, you're programmed to think a certain way. Your mum was taught to think this way, she teaches you to think this way, you teach your children to think that way, it just goes on. So until someone says, nah, this isn't right, this way. I used to be in my nan sometimes and be there, and again, an amazing household, so this isn't all the time, but sometimes I just have this realisation of everyone talking about, like, again, sounds cliche, but like the price of bread and milk and this, and that never felt normal to me from a very young age. I was like, I was like 7, 8, there, aren't you? What's achievable? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's 10p, shut up. And I had always had that, whereas for them, they thought that way because the generation before them thought that way, and it was like, save a penny, I'd rather make a pound. So I just always had that mentality, I'd get money and spend it. And I look back now, and it was because I just always just thought, I'll get it back, money's coming back. I didn't save and hoard. Like, a lot of entrepreneurs, don't they say, like, they started selling at an early age. And it works for them, clearly. For me, I've got an energy of giving, and then more comes, and you give, and you flow that way. And you're in a constant abundance. So I always, as a child, I just wanted loads of everything. I used to eat loads, drink loads, so like anything I did, I wouldn't just have a can of Coke, I'd have 2 cans of Coke. Everything was more. Do you know what I'm saying? And even in terms of food, I developed the love for food and big meals at a very early age too, a lot earlier than most. I remember being 9, 10 and literally getting nervous to stay in my friend's house because I used to think they're not going to give me enough food. Which is mad, isn't it, really? But I genuinely used to think that on the way to my friends or my cousins. I used to be like, and I used to say, Mum, can you make me some packed lunch?
I'm going to be starving,
So I didn't have to keep asking them if it felt impolite to like my aunties and stuff, but you put the meals down and I think, oh, what's that? Like one dinosaur meat and like a couple of waffles, and I'm like,
that's not filling me.
That's not for me, that. Where's the mass? I just wanted my plates like that, and again, so I think that was all
the abundance mindset.
The abundance mindset, like, I'll eat more and I'll get more. Whereas I didn't have the right to grow up that way, is my point that I'm trying to get to, Dave, is like, that was not what my family thought. My nan, we always have a running joke in the family. My nan's slices of cheese are like trace and paper. That's what we say.
Because her mentality saving,
My nan had 13 children,
Yeah, so there's no food to go around.
So that's why I lived with so many of my aunties and uncles, because they were all still, a lot of them were still just living at home. Well, half of them moved out, half of them were still in home when I was born. So me and I had to make a loaf of bread, go for miles, a pint of milk, go for miles. Whereas I remember opening the fridge and downing milk, think no one gonna see me here, but do you know what I mean?
But that's like feeds into your ambition a little bit. I think that's why you're like an ambitious person now. And you're like, I'm gonna do more of this. I'm gonna be the best at this. Like it's just, it's all or nothing.
You see it time and time again. Kids who are just like their parents, and obviously then they'll be just like their parents. Like you were saying,
that's
so
the paradigm.
For you to have that mindset, you're very fortunate, because if you'd have just fallen into your environment and the thinking, then you'd have been...
You're changing the story. Changing the story.
I don't even know.
It's like a stake in the ground for your family, isn't it? So now we're changing.
Yeah, we're not scrimping and scraping as a family anymore. But for the next few generations,
achieve what you want.
We're doing this.
I can't explain, like, I wish people could feel the emotion when I'm saying it. Like, there is no chance on the planet that my family paradigm isn't changed. Like, it has changed now.
Yeah.
And it will forever.
And you think it's filtered back down your family in terms of into your aunties, uncles,
my auntie Helen, my mum, even now.
Big cheese slices everywhere.
Definitely, but no, my mum definitely started to change now. She's semi-retired now and living a much healthier life than she used to, which is brilliant to see. My sister works with us, my little sister, been on it for years, come and get fit with us, come and get fit and get strong, get in with the team. She wouldn't listen for years, finally got through to her, she loves it now. Yeah. She does all our emails and admin and video editing full time. My auntie Helen works full time with us, full time PT, ShredFast instructor, probably the leading female for the brand. She's the face of the brand in terms of female perspective, and yet it's rubbed off on all of them. I think a lot of the family hasn't, because my family is so broad, but even like my aunties and uncles, a lot of them do the program from the home and stuff, and they absolutely
to think about how much reach comes from that bedroom now. Crazy. From you and your auntie. Like I'm thinking, my wife Emma loves listening to Helen. She does like podcasts and things like that, and she listens to it and everything like that, and she idolises her in the train and things like that. So isn't it crazy, just out of that 100%, one bedroom?
100%.
Kind of...
And Helen, I'll tell you herself, she was very doom and gloom. Her and her husband John were great, were happy people, but I'm talking like their humour was like, oh, it's never going to work. That was how they were funny, and I used to find it hilarious that's how they were as a couple. And they're starting to switch now. John does ShredFast, and he's inspired by Helen so much. Little Archie, who's her son, he's part of the ShredFast team, he does the ShredFast kids. My other godson Jude, he's starting to come round to it slowly, but he's at that age, he's 17, 18, where he's just like one of the lads, you know what I mean? He's just got his girl and stuff. But this shows the effect actually. Jude's girlfriend Daisy is Carl Spellman, who is one of the other instructors. That's their brother and sister. So through Daisy, she was like, you should go to Jude's uncle's ShredFast, and then he came and like seeked us out, and he's an ex-footballer, played for Tranmere.
Okay.
So we've got very similar tendencies, and now he's one of the main instructors. He's doing fantastic. So it does just show the reach of the family, but it's more so I'm talking about as we go on. Like my daughters now.
But not just their life. I know I know, well, you probably don't, but in terms of finances, they're all different. But just in terms of their mentality, like you can be anything you want to be in this world. You can live anywhere you want, do anything you want to do.
I just tell them all the time. All I say is, I say hello, beautiful. All I call is beautiful. So she just feels them words, and she's just full of love and abundance and happiness and peace. Both of them, Asian and Amara, and me, my fiancée Leah. Even her mentality's changed too. But she's been a massive reason that I changed in the first place. She's like the most amazing person I've ever met, and she basically left me because I was just absolutely round the bend. And then I went on this mission, and when I want something, I'm extremely obsessive about it, i.e. if it's business, anything it can be, but I made my entire life about getting her back. And in the process of getting her back, I became a better person. Because I started to read books, stopped going out, got myself together, hit the gym a little bit more, started to pray more, all these things.
That was your reason then, really. That was your
reason to get hit back, and then that's when I started to develop these habits that still serve me well to this day.
Yeah. So ShredFast then, how did that? Obviously, you've been in the fitness industry, you're a PT, you've tried different businesses and things like that, but then ShredFast comes along.
Yeah.
You explain exactly what your thought process was at the start.
I was training like bodybuilding style, all your bench press and your lat pull downs and leg days going on for 3 hours and stuff, and I couldn't walk for 7 days. It was just a madness. But I was doing all this, but I was always trying different styles of training, different sports, and then it got to the point where I just couldn't fix my shoulder, and so I'd get massage, feels good, go and bench press again, pull down, and back in the next week, and I was like, it's just not getting better. And I was so physically strong. I was 90 kilos at this point, and I looked like an absolute monster, and I couldn't lift my arm up, so I couldn't like lift the shopping out of the. I thought, what type of guy looks like this and can't lift his arm up? I felt so weak, and I just started then looking into different styles of training for that reason, to prevent injury. Did CrossFit and stuff, still hurt me shoulder, did all different variations, and then I just started getting into the kettlebells, and this is about 2018, 19. And I used to do it, because of the rotation that you could get with them and stuff, I just felt like this feels so much better. So it came through that. Then I thought, I'm onto something here again, because no one was doing it. So it's hard to believe that now, especially in Liverpool, because every person in the world is doing kettlebells now, and I will like stand on it again. You said back yourself. I back myself that I was the biggest reason for that, because I know for a fact that I was. So I was like, there's no one doing kettlebells, and I just thought, we're onto something here, so let me develop something that's different then. I don't just want to do what they're doing. Kettlebells are working for me. Let me develop a system. So I became obsessed then with creating something that I could say, this is what I offer, and I thought, I'll perfect it with my clients who are currently at, and then I'll put it online.
So you're trying to find like a niche then?
I was trying to find something that I could say, like a training style.
Yeah.
That's all.
And was that with the different types of exercises, or the duration, or the intensity?
I'll tell you exactly how it started, Dave. Because I was PTing still at the time. So I was PTing, and what was happening was, I was thinking, how can I shorten these sessions down and get them to work? It's not like I didn't want them to, I couldn't be bothered with them. I just thought, I can't be bothered talking to these people every single day about the same old stuff. How do we just work them so hard, really short rest, and it's better for them? They come in, 45 minutes, they're out the door again, just like, wow, that was a whirlwind, but I feel brilliant. So then I became obsessed with efficiency and time, and it started off as a 30-minute, 10-minute of 3 10-minute splits. And what they do, they come in, I'd put them through a bodyweight circuit, then a kettlebell circuit, so 10 minutes bodyweight, 10 minutes kettlebell, and then 10 minutes on either the air down or the treadmill. So it would either be like 30 on, 30 off sprints, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off air down, or whatever it would be, but it would be 30, 30, 30 with a 3-minute rest in between each section.
Yeah, so that's just under 40 minutes.
So it was perfect with a 5-minute warm to start. So it was like, and that's how it started.
Yeah.
So I was doing that to my clients, they were like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Lockdown happens. All this time I'm building the website in the background with the very little money that I had, and I mean no money.
Someone helping you do that? Someone helped you build the website?
I was paying someone to help me, they built it. And shout out Liam as well, because he done a lot for me. We've had our backs and forth, because when I'm not happy with something, I'm like, I want everything done yesterday, you know what I mean? But he's a good lad, Liam, so shout out to him. But yeah, so I was getting all the website built as I was testing this on my clients. So I always say my clients are like my guinea pigs, and they got the brunt of it. Like, someone would just be like flat out or get injured, and I'd be like, that doesn't work.
Someone's lying in the corner, like having an cardiac arrest. Well, I won't do that one.
Ambulance, and then just like that in my notepad, take that one off. So that's how we done it. And then lockdown hit. So when lockdown hit, it was just a simple case of, what do we replace the treadmill and the air down bike with? Yeah. I've never actually told that story, but that's how it developed, because then I had to just come up with an idea for cardio basically. Then I was like, right, 10 minutes of burpees, for example.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And that's how it came. And then I thought like different levels. So now then the advanced has to be slightly longer, and the intermediate's about the same time frame as I just described, 30 minutes. The advanced is like 55. Well, I say advanced now, we've changed the names of them, which you probably see in the app. Got low intensity, moderate, medium intensity, and high intensity now. High intensity is 55 minutes, medium intensity is 45 minutes, and low intensity is 30 minutes. So the low intensity is going through the motions of all the exercises. Still get a great workout in if you wanted to go heavy, all using just kettlebells and body weight. The medium intensity is a ShredFast class, but just shorter intensity, so high intensity body weight, and then the high intensity is...
You're taking away obstacles for people, aren't you? Because it's such a... People who don't exercise, there's always an excuse, but you're removing all those obstacles.
Exactly that.
You don't need a gym.
Exactly that.
Yeah. Limited equipment, a couple of kettlebells. You haven't got time, half an hour a day. Everyone's got half an hour a day.
Exactly.
I heard you mention that when you said someone about making excuses, and we all do it, don't we? Like, well, we've been guilty of weights, I haven't got time, got time, and you're like, no excuses, you've got time.
You have to have time, because it's all good, well, saying I haven't got time, but then when you get sick, you're going to...
Takes time away.
It's just, do you know what I mean? You're going to have wished you made time then, and that's not out the realm of possibility. Yeah. In fact, it's a very big possibility that that's going to happen if you don't exercise and find time to exercise. You're going to get sick. Yeah. So it's like, back to that though, sorry Dave, so with the methodology, the ShredFast, because it's much deeper than just them workout, it really is. And the methodology which you just described here started by trying to win my fiancée back Leah now. So those little small habits, I started reading books and stuff, and I became obsessed with self-improvement at that stage. That carried through for many, many years after we got back together and everything, and I still continue to read, do affirmations, pray to God, try and walk as often as I could, started doing cold showers and all that type of thing. So again, it got to... It was the same time I lost my girl, I had a mental breakdown, like full mental breakdown, panic attacks all the time, couldn't sleep, didn't have any energy. I was an absolutely broken man, just in every way possible, mentally, physically, emotionally. So all those things that I've just described, then the cold water, the reading, the walking, the self-help books, the praying, that cured me. Like just point blank, that cured me.
Did someone direct you in that, or was that just you? No, I need something, I need to just...
Desperation for that.
Yeah.
You know, like pure desperation.
You didn't go to the doctors or anything like that?
I went to the doctors. No, I didn't take medication. I went to the doctors one time, but for physical, because I started thinking I was dying.
Yeah.
Because I was waking up at night and spitting blood and stuff. And again, we just said about the effect that early in the podcast, we said about anxiety, the nervous energy, the effect. I was waking up and spitting blood, and I'd lie in bed and couldn't breathe and all this type of stuff, and it was just pure stress response. And I went to the doctors for that reason. They started recommending all this other time, and I was like, no, absolutely not. I'll go and do it myself. Don't even want to know. Like, you need to come back. They'd be phoning me all the time because my test results were that bad. I had like liver damage from drinking and creatine and pre-workouts and just overeating of food and stuff, trying to get big. And they're like, you need to come back and be seen. I was like, no. And the great thing was, once I dismissed all the doctors and that, years later, after using ShredFast for like 2 years to cure myself, I went back and everything was perfect. So I can even stand on it even more for that fact.
Not one antibiotic.
No antibiotic, but I'm not here to say don't use antibiotics, don't take medication. There's a time and a place, and thank God that we've got the medical industry for some certain aspects, but you've got to try and help yourself first. You can't be sitting there eating chippies and then taking your blood pressure medication. Yeah. You just can't do that. Eat healthy, get in the gym, then see if you still got high blood pressure. Oh, no, I haven't. Isn't that magic? Like, no, you just stop doing the things that you really shouldn't have been doing in the first place. So, again, I perfected this, and I wrote everything down. Everything I wrote down. I've got stacks and stacks of books from around about 2014, I'd say, 13. I started journaling everything, which I've still got to this day. And I look back now and I'm like, wow, some of the things I've said, and it's just crazy, and it's great to see and take you back and like reminisce on it. But I documented everything, and then I started to put that into the wellbeing program. So I came up with 5 rules for life, which ShredFast, I believe, if you live by, it will give you a content, happy, satisfying life. And it's cold water therapy upon waking up, which I'll touch on a little bit more in a minute because I found a new little technique on that again. So I give people direct instructions of how you can implement these two. But your cold water therapy in the morning, straight into affirmations or prayer, depending if you're religious, spiritual, and if you're neither, then you really should be. Because again, I just believe that that's all we've really got, is our soul and our spirit. So you've got to do things that feed that soul. ShredFast workout, of course, goes without saying, and I always recommend it in the morning. Walking in nature, and this is every single day I advise this. And then the last one is self-reflection, which is quite broad, but I just recommend that people just sit with themselves for even a minute or two at the end of each night before they go to bed and ask themselves, have they performed well? Is there things they could have done better? I'm not going to sit here and start saying, do a mental rehearsal of your day and anything that went wrong went right. Who's going to do that every day? They're not going to do it. You've got a screaming kid there. You know, like it's just, you haven't always got that time, but you've got a little minute when the kids go to bed to sit there and just think, how have I performed today? Have I improved? Could I have done things better? Well, you know what, tomorrow? And then I always advise to just make a little plan or a note in your phone of what you can do better tomorrow, or something that needs to be done that you've put off again today. So with those 5 rules, I genuinely believe if you just do that every day, you find a system that works for you, you do things at the time that works for you, everyone can do them 5 rules, they really can.
Yeah, most of that's done in the morning. So if you do that first thing, you've conquered the day, haven't you? You're winning.
Done 4,
You've done the hardest things.
You've done the 4.
The ShredFast workout and the cold water are going to be the 2 hardest things you do in the day.
Definitely.
So
Tell us your cold water.
So the cold water, I used to be, obviously, I got obsessed with it during my depression because I heard that it was good for you. I was getting little whispers again. This was well before the curve where everyone was doing it. Yeah. But I was like, I'm here in cold water, so I was getting myself in cold showers, struggling so much to do it, going for cold dips in mountains and stuff. In the morning, I get up and get a freezing cold shower, but I've got Raynaud's disease. Have you heard of that? Where your fingertips stay white. Yeah. I've got that in my hands and my feet. I struggled to get warm, and it's one of the reasons I hated the cold in the first place. So I was getting these cold showers, but then I was literally freezing cold for like 2 hours after it. My fingertips would be freezing cold driving to work. I'd be like, I couldn't feel them. And you'd have to either put it under your tongue, like that, or under your armpits. And like honestly, but it's to the point where people say like, what's up with you? Because like it'd be completely white, dead, like and it looked crazy. It'd go like yellow. So what I started to do was look more into cycling, the thermal cycling. And by all accounts, what I've read and researched, it's actually better for your body to have the shock of both heat shock proteins from the heat and the cold. So what I do is get into a minute freezing cold shower over my whole body, straight off when waking up, because that's the hard part. So loads of people do it the other way around, and I'm like, it's cheating, man, because it's easy to be dead hot. You're in like a 40, 50 degree shower and then turn it to cold for 30 seconds and go, and then jump out, because you're already warm for most of it, because your skin was warm and your bones were even warm. So getting into that freezing cold shower for the minute is the hard part. And then I turn it to hot and do another minute, but not my face, because I don't like to open the pores of my face or my head. So I have freezing cold on my head and over my whole body, and then I'll step back and just let the heat warm me, like hands, my feet, my legs and stuff, and then I get out after 1 minute, because you want to stay in even longer. But I make sure that I do 1 minute cold, 1 minute hot, and I'm out the shower, and I feel fantastic.
Do you find that easy now, or is it still a battle every morning?
That really is so much easier to do, Dave, than it is just cold. Like it really is. Even the effect, you know you're going to get to turn it to hot, and that gets you through the cold. Does that make sense?
But you still have the battle. You still have the battle. That's what I was going to say. It's on cold, and I've got to step in.
I don't want to get in.
I've had that right, and I swear to you that I can't sit here and lie again. I don't have that, man. I literally go, boom, jump in, and I purposely don't even let my face go, or doing on the day. I just step in, let it hit me, and it's a shock, but I purposely try and keep my body language like it's not shocking me. And now it's a piece of piss. It really is. And don't know if I'll be saying the same thing in winter though, because the pipes are colder, aren't they? It's a lot colder in the winter.
But you've created an amazing habit there, haven't you? Because I mean, we've had little spells of doing that, haven't we? We've spoken about it, and I'm like, does it ever get to a point where it's like I'm looking forward to it, and I'm always thinking, no, but then it becomes a battle, and you tell yourself and you do it, but it's
honestly, if you can get past 6 months of that, it's not a habit, it's just what you do. Like, I don't know yourselves, do you jump in the shower straight away anyway? Yeah. Always like, I'm a person who, I have to shower before I go downstairs. I can't fathom when my friends stay, suddenly you come down and they're just like, I'm just like...
I can't imagine you being like that.
No, honestly, I'm just like, just go and get shower, go and get shower. We have a joke as well in ShredFast, so I analyse people and the body language, and I look so specific where I know if you haven't had a shower. Do you know what I mean? I just know. By like your eyes, I can sense it. And the lads are walking and we were laughing the other day, we were in stitches. A couple of them were like, coming to the changes, and Harrison said to Carl, you haven't had a shower, lad. Luke's gonna know you haven't had a shower.
Wash your face.
Carl said he was washing his face. And he walked in, and I went, you look like shit, bro. Do you know what I mean? Straight away, and he said you were both laughing with each other. But I just feel like it, again, when I said earlier, I feel like it's so much more than a shower. I feel like it's a spiritual experience for me. Yeah. I feel revitalised. That's the best word I could use, is revitalised.
So what's running? So your morning schedule. So you straight into that, and then what is your first hour of your day look like?
I love this. I love talking about this.
Make your bed is all one.
Well, not so much because my girl's still in bed with the kids, which is I'm made up with that because I hate making my bed. Yeah. Like it was always a pet hate of mine. Up, the girls will still be asleep. Straight into the cold shower. Like your toothbrush, brush that, bathe off, dry off, go into my dress room, get changed, like freshen up, clean, aftershave, everything, just feel as fresh as I possibly can. Walk downstairs, straight onto the prayer mat, pray, Fajr, which is your first morning prayer. Again, just gives you an unbelievable lift, boosting energy, walk through. By this point, I've already drank maybe a litre or so next to my bed. And then continue. I have to have about 2 litres. Then I will do 50 pull-ups, 50 to 60 pull-ups, and 50 to 60 press-ups. Some squats, just a little bit of movement in the body. Then I'll go into the living room or the kitchen. I'll start making my breakfast. I'll have oats, just a really nice solid bowl of just oats with a little bit of honey, and 6 egg whites. Or 5 egg whites and 1 yolk. That's optional, the egg whites. Sometimes I'll just have the oats, depending on my stomach's feeling. So again, I'll judge each day. Like, am I feeling bloated still from last night? If I am, I'll just have my oats. If I'm feeling hungry, like I've done a big session or a late session the night before, then I'll eat my eggs too, to get my protein up.
You just scramble them?
Scrambled eggs, yeah, nice and simple. Then after that, I'll have a coffee. I'll make a coffee. And depending on if I've got stuff to do in the centre, I'll leave the house at that point and take my book and everything with me. And I'll make my way into heel, listening to audios the whole way, positive audios. And then I'll get to heel and go to work. Or the other option is I'll spend a little bit longer in my house, go into the garden, drink my coffee in the garden, answer some emails, read my book. And do my affirmations. I'll always do my affirmations, whether it's with my book, which I've got them written in, and if I am short on time, I'll just speak them out loud as I'm getting changed. I always start with, today is a great day. Thank you for all the good that has come on my way. I say that the whole way through my shower. Yeah. As soon as my feet touch the floor, I say thank, and then you, as my other foot touches it, out the bed, just to give thanks that I'm alive. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because you say that you die when you're asleep. And God grants your life again. That's what they believe in Islam. So each time you wake up, you should be like, thank you, I've got another day, yeah. And I just start my day with gratitude and reinforcing good thoughts before I look at my phone. So I have to do all of the above before I look at my phone. Because if I look at my phone before that, I'm being dictated by you or whoever it may be. Whatever I see, I start to obsess over, because that's the mindset I've got. Some people can't get up, look at the phone, don't care, crack on. Then do that. I don't believe there's many of them people out there. But some people can do that, I can't. I will obsess over the first thing I see, so I'll make sure the first thing that I see is positive. Yeah. I make sure the first thing that I hear is positive.
That's priming yourself. You talked about earlier, priming yourself.
Exactly, I'm just priming myself. Even my voice though, when I said before, I know whether people have had a shower. I just know if people have only just got up too bad, the tone of voice. So your voice is always quite deep and raspy in the morning. Yeah. I don't like when I see the lads come in, the girls are never like that. The girls are just so so much more efficient and on the ball than the lads are. They always look $1 million and up early, but some of the lads, being lads in their early 20s, will get up a little bit later. And you're like, you're okay, man. Just like, you've only just got up. I'm like, don't just get up and come in for this workout. Start getting here an hour early, please. Like, I want you sat there an hour before it, having a coffee with us, relaxing.
You pull them up on that all the time.
Yeah. Don't just turn up 5 minutes before this live.
And if you keep doing it,
you run in and change your top and get on. I'm like, it's not good enough, boys. Just get up. Like, when you see me in at 9 o'clock, and I say I always try and lead by example, when you see me in at 9 o'clock, I've been up since 6.
Yeah.
You're seeing me at 9, don't think for a second that I've just got up at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock even. I've been up since 6 and I've primed me. I've spoke enough words to get rid of that rustiness on my voice. I've seen enough sunlight to get rid of that squinty of like, you know the word for it, like that tiredness of my eyes, do you know what I mean? You're supposed to see daylight within the first 15-20 minutes of waking up.
Yeah.
It's always a great tip as well. It's brilliant for your brain, it's brilliant for your eyes.
Yeah.
So I do all these things. I've drank plenty of water so my throat isn't dry. I've took a cold shower, I've bathed, I've made sure that everything is proper, everything is done correct, because I want to walk into that place and with my chest out and not walking with my head down. And you do that by all of the...
Is this every single day?
Every single day.
And do you set an alarm or...?
No.
No.
I'm past that now, Dave, and the days of setting an alarm haunt me still to this day when I hear an alarm. Now it's like I've got PTSD. Because honestly, I'm...
Is that you Everton in the morning?
No, not so much Everton. I mean, when I was grinding. So when I was PTing, I mean, I was up at 4.
Of course.
And I'd work till 8 p.m. From 5 or 6 a.m. till 8 p.m. And then I'd go to the gym in JD from 8 p.m. till 10 p.m. every night to get home for 10:30, 11 o'clock, have some food, go to sleep for 12, up the same. That alarm just used to destroy my soul. And then even into ShredFast, when I first got ShredFast off the ground, I was doing classes. And I was taking every class at the centre. And my alarm again would go off 4 o'clock every single morning. So no more than 4 o'clock get-ups. I'm sorry for anyone who is a fan of this, like 5 a.m. and stuff. I just think wake up naturally, and my natural alarm clock is around between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
It'll always
And your life's in a position now where you can do that as well.
So even if I was to wake up late one day, which never happens, if I was to wake up at 8:30, I am going to be in that centre training until 10.
Yeah. What's your bedtime? Sorry,
Well, we haven't got one at the minute, honestly. The kids at the minute are just no routine whatsoever. My little girl, Asia, they're both little girls. My eldest, Asia too, she's in bed usually for like 8, half 8.
Yeah.
But my littlest girl, Amara, is just... She's a powerhouse, man. She has a little nap, and that's just there till maybe sometimes 11 o'clock. So, again, we're doing a challenge in September, Dave, and I said, one of the lads said today, we were just chilling, having a coffee, he said, why don't we do a set bedtime for people on this challenge? I said, bro, I can't go to bed on time, so how can I tell my subscribers to? I said, I genuinely cannot do it. I'm talking physically, it's impossible, because if my daughter's awake at 10 o'clock, do I just go to sleep?
Yeah,
she's awake, she's there. So I said, and think how many people are in the same boat. So I said, all you can do is advise, try and get to bed at the same time each night. But I'm past all that, like, what's the word? I keep saying like, sorry, I'm past the general things that you hear from self-help. Go to bed on time, do this and do, just come on, man, like, let's be more realistic, let's be more, what's the word even for practical? Yeah. Because as I say, like, that's why I try and offer people practical advice that they can go, you know, I'm going to do that. Yeah. Even in the morning on my story, I'll write something that's practical, not something that's going to make someone think, yeah, but you can do that because that's what you do and that's your life. No, I'm just saying, just get up and jump in a cold shower there, man. Have a coffee in the morning, go and see sunlight, go and stand outside for 5-10 minutes and look at the light. Yeah. You can do that.
Just quickly, you mentioned about nature as well, because I saw you talking about going on like a 5k walk and just walking around, positive phrases and all that. So tell us why, like, the importance of that then as well for people.
So it's the 5k walk what I recommend. I recommend the 5k walk every day. All run. So I know there's a lot of people who love to run. I don't know if yourselves, being ex-footballers, maybe you love to just still run. For me, if I didn't have certain knee injuries that I've had in the past, I would probably choose to run it. Because I think 5k is not much to run, and I think if you do it right and you stretch and you recover right and stuff, you can run every day. but I just recommend covering 5 kilometers for a couple of reasons. First, it's brilliant for a zone 2 if you're doing a 5k. You can just go zone 2, keeping that heart rate at a nice, like a neutral level of about 130 beats per minute, so just a plod. In terms of walking, it's just great for cardiovascular, and it's a great way for people who are at the beginning of the journey, who are literally coming from the couch, to get into exercise. 5k a day, that means you're covering 35k a week.
Yeah.
That's a lot of distance at the end, and then you look at that over the month and then a year. So that will start you off on your journey. So it's just a great starting point, and again, practicality is key. So I recommend that, but I then started to think, this is a great time, I'm just on my own. The first time it happened was when my headphones died. So I usually just used to listen to affirmations. Yeah. I am great, I am powerful, I am strong, and I just listened to them over and over again for an hour on my walk. And they died. It just went, and I was like, oh, it's gutted. And then I just started speaking them. Yeah. And started speaking them out loud, and thought I'll just say them. So I just started speaking them out loud, and by the time I got home, I felt like $1 million. I just felt like my energy was just through the roof. I felt great about myself. I felt like the cells in my body had changed. Just felt good. So I thought, just do that more often. Just walk around and talk good words to myself.
And the importance of being outdoors as well, being in nature, massive as well.
You instantly will regulate your breathing just by being by trees. So as soon as you walk by trees, you will start to regulate your breath naturally. You'll start to just breathe in a more natural rhythm. When, you know what I'm saying? If sometimes you can be in the car and get a little bit short of breath, can't you? Just because you're in an enclosed environment, just try all around, just gets a little bit tense. You're crouched up, you're like this, walking in nature, it's just, you just start to, the oxygen from the trees is obviously plays a big part. The open air makes you feel less, what's the word for it? Claustrophobic. Yeah. You feel less claustrophobic, you just feel open and free. And that will regulate your breath, it'll lower your blood pressure immediately, it'll de-stress you. So another great thing to do, again, a practical tip, is to read emails and WhatsApps that you really don't want to while walking, because you're de-stressing while being stressed. Yeah. So at least you're mitigating it as well. Do you know what I mean? At least you're mitigating it a little bit. It's a great thing to do, you know, business calls and stuff. Just boom, earphones on and go for a walk. Honest to God, like, they are different phone calls than sitting in your office, agitated and walking around, pacing the room. Just walk, go for a walk. Go for a 2-hour walk and answer every single email you can. And I just feel like it's a great way to do business. You end up solving so many problems just because the feeling of walking, it does something, honestly. So as I say, it is literally de-stressing you while you're on board and stress. So at least it's not clogging up. At least it's a bit of a flow.
Yeah, and all these things are not hard to do, but anything that's easy to do is also easy not to do, isn't it?
I just think people will see Luke and they'll look at his physique and they'll go, obviously that'll seem unattainable, won't it, for the vast majority of people, won't it? But you're not giving tips on to look like you're just giving tips on just being healthy for your mental much as physical.
I never come onto these podcasts, honestly, and start talking about it. I don't think I've ever mentioned like a tip of looking good or how you can reduce your body fat, 'cause it doesn't interest me. So I won't interest anyone else. I don't care what your body fat is as long as you feel good. So if your body fat is 25-30%, you're probably not going to say I feel good. Whereas if your body fat may be like 12, 13, 14, 15 even, which is still, that's more than acceptable. And if you're not shredded and abs popping, but you're feeling great, then all power to you. That's all I want you to feel good. That's my first question to everyone. How do you reckon I'm looking? I said, I don't care how you're looking, how are you feeling? That's always what I say. How do you feel? Feel good, you know, that's all that matters. Then keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. And ShredFast has been on this incredible journey. Was there a point in it where you just felt it go, because you knew you were on something special, you said with the workouts and that, the reaction you had off your clients and things like that, and I've been doing it for quite a while now, so I know that feeling, but was there a moment in time where you thought, wow, this is going to go?
When Tony came, Tony Bellew, and I was getting him ready for Creed, I was training him, and when he was posting, there was loads of interest. And then I'd say the biggest point has only come quite recently, because up until, this time last year, I had 30,000
You
followers.
said that to me, didn't you?
I saw a picture of your ShredFast when you had like 50 followers or 100 followers or something, and everyone thinks you've been an overnight success.
Yeah, well, like I used to post and get 1 like, and sometimes you get no likes. But yeah, even just this time last year, I had 30,000 followers. We've now got 280 nearly.
You only tipped 100 like not that long ago, but it's just gone, isn't it? Quick?
I hit 100 in the end of December. Towards the end of December.
I messaged you at that point. I said that you're at the tipping point. It's exponential growth now.
So that's honestly, Dave, I'd say that it was round Christmas time last year. I'd say I was like, right, we're getting some momentum here. But I always like there's a great saying: when you win, and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
So even talking about it now, I'm a bit like, let's not go too deep on it because I don't believe in jinxing it, because I believe I'm that powerful that I will smash through any wall that's put in front of me in that sense, spiritually, mentally, anything like that. But I do love just the fact of just letting things continue to flow. Just like, I love that that's winning, like let that just keep winning. Just when you're in that flow state. Yeah. Because everything peaks and troughs. Yeah. Followers can be going up, revenue can be going up, everything can be going good, and I'm very aware of the fact that this could all just come to a head. But what I know if that did happen is I'd just be saying what's next within 5 minutes of it happening. Yeah. Or how do we fix this?
So it's not like you being at Everton where you suddenly your world falls out. You get this. You're like, if something goes wrong now, don't worry about that. I'm ready to go again.
Because I've learned how to be successful. Yeah. I've learned that still the next day I'm going to get up and dress. My morning routine's going to look the way I've just described to you. Now that attracts success. Yeah. So I've learned how to be a successful man. So I won't lose that trait unless I decide to self-sabotage and I'm fed up with everything. I've learned how to manage people, how to influence people in a positive light, how to inspire people, how to manage money, what businesses work, what businesses don't, what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, what people I need to do what jobs. I've learned all this and I've got a mental bank of it. So if this did fall by the wayside, I'd say, right, what am I doing next? It's going to be this, or I'd just know how to reconstruct that and build it straight back up to where it was. Yeah. And what other option would you really have anyway? Yeah. You wouldn't have another option. So I'm just extremely grateful, so grateful for everything, how it's going. Very prepared for any diversions that may occur, and very driven to get to many more goals and many more milestones in the future, you know what I mean? I've just got a 3-stage mental outlook on it.
Yeah, one thing I want to ask you before we sort of...
Yeah, I've got something else to ask as well. I keep on writing things down though, I know. How long have we been going there?
At least an hour 20.
That's all right, we're all right.
What you keep them to?
Yeah. Try and keep it under an hour and a half, don't we normally? Well, we said an hour and an hour and a half, but it's all right.
Do 2 parts.
So there's one thing I really want to ask you, and it's something I think, from the outside looking in, I think is your biggest strength as a business. And anyone who doesn't know about ShredFast, hasn't done it, for me as a client of yours, well, not a client, a subscriber, I can go on any day of the week and there's a workout every single day. Mm-hmm. You'll click on, you don't need any prep, you press play and you're greeted with a group of people. You're usually doing it with 3 or 4 other people, and as someone doing it, you feel like you're part of it. But I know for a fact I'm going to go into whatever room in the house, go into the garage or whatever, and I'm going to have an hour of my day, and I'm not going to have to think. I just follow along, and I'm going to come out of that garage absolutely knackered. Feel like I've worked hard. It's a great start to the day. But what I was saying about having people there, you've built this crazy community. Yeah. And I think it's your biggest strength as a business that I come into that workout in the morning and I feel like I'm in the gym with you.
Yeah, comfortable.
How big was that when you started out to try and develop that?
It's everything. That is what ShredFast is, Dave. Yeah. So when lockdown happened, I said to my girlfriend, I'm gonna make people feel like I'm with them. Yeah. I'm gonna make this app make people feel like I'm there training them through it. Because when we entered into lockdown, I was still PTing, and I chose 2 groups of people that I was going to continue to train on FaceTime. And I remember training them on FaceTime, and he would be drenched head to toe in sweat. I was thinking, how am I making these that tired from my phone. This is crazy, this technology, like how are we doing this? And then that's where I just thought, right, I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna do this to everyone. And then that was my whole philosophy, and one of my biggest things, what I used to say, I have this obsession with appealing to the stay-at-home mums who can't get out much, or people who genuinely can't afford to go to the gym, and they get to put this on, and for that hour, they are part of our community. They are there with us, experiencing that energy, that music, that vibe, those good words of affirmations that I'm constantly pushing out to you all. Get a great workout in and get results too. I wanted people to feel exactly like you do, Dave, and feel like you're part of the community, because you are. Energy doesn't have to be, I don't have to be in a room with you to feel your energy. We've never met before, and I feel like I have. There's been zero surprises from meeting you, and I've only ever spoke to you on DMs. And I knew who you were, because I felt your energy, because I'm an energy reader, and I feel like you are too. You can see that through the screen, so you can live with people through energies. It doesn't have to be physical. You don't have to be in a room, you don't have to be near them.
That's why I say to absolutely everyone, like, go and try this out, because firstly, it's cheap. You know what I mean? So there's no excuse.
That's important.
It is.
100%.
You've removed barriers, because you don't need to travel anywhere. I generally think, I know life is hard economically for a lot of people, but that you do that many offers and things to get people into it if they want to. It's affordable. You can find that money to pay to do it, and you can train every single day like you're part of a private members club. It's that good. And whilst you're there, you feel like you belong. And I came to Liverpool with my wife Emma about a month ago, 2 months ago maybe.
I was on holiday, wasn't I?
You was away, but we went for a little run in the morning. We'd been out the night before, we had a couple of drinks, so we were feeling a bit ropey. Went for a run along the water, and then I said, let's go back past ShredFast. I know they do the coffee age there, things like that. We popped in and got speaking to the guy who was serving the coffee, and he's like, where are you from, all this sort of stuff. And within 5 minutes, we were everywhere in ShredFast, showing us the classes. Everyone's saying, you do the classes. And we was there for about an hour and a half, mate, and we didn't want to leave.
Said, and the amount of people who said, great lad, Dave, when I've said them come to do the podcast with, they all love you. And they only met you that short time.
But you get people coming over from everywhere to come and do the classes, don't you? Just to come and do a class.
Just flew over from Dublin. I seen this guy's story, flying from Dublin. He's getting on a plane, said, a few classes at ShredFast. So I was like, that's unbelievable. So, and then it was the Thursday night, and I seen him going to get kettlebells, and I was walking through. I wasn't even doing the class, I was just getting ready to leave. I'd done a couple of meetings or something, and I said, lovely to meet you. I said, what are you doing exactly? He said, I'm doing class tonight, 6 a.m. tomorrow, and then at 6 p.m, and then we fly home at 11 p.m. that night, Friday night. I was like, bro, you gotta come and do a live with us. You're a subscriber. He said, yeah, of course I am. He said, we do it religiously. Me, my girlfriend, my brother, my mum, we all do it. So I was like, you've got to come in. So then that's what was on social media, and that's how organic it was, which just shows again the power of the brand. None of this is planned or premeditated.
It must be humbling as well for you that you reach in all corners of the world.
Well, imagine really getting a plane. You're getting a plane to go and do a class. It's just insane. I mean, show me another program that is doing that. I don't think there is, and it's because what you've just said. They already felt like the community. They didn't come in and feel like, they were just like Joe, Harrison, Amy, Helen. They just knew everyone, because they felt they
genuinely feel like you know.
But that's the environment, isn't it? When you said you want people, how do you get people to not want to leave, isn't it? That's the biggest thing, not want to leave. Well, it becomes a community and everybody feels that, and like you say about the energy, isn't it? It's the same as like, trying to create a school or whatever your establishment is, and you want everybody to come and want it.
And there's such a value to it as well, because I have people, because I'll put it on my Instagram quite a lot, and like, you've never asked me to put it on my Instagram or anything like that, and people have said to me, do you get it for free and stuff like that, and I was like, absolutely not. And even if you message
not until now, not until to the anniversary.
But I genuinely always say this to Emma, and I say this to other people. If you message me and said, you put it on your Instagram that, like, don't worry about your subscription, I would 100% say no, because I value that program so much 100%. That it would be a crime for me not to pay for it. 100%. Do you know what I mean? And I genuinely feel like that. And I say to people as well, do you have a code? Or they ask me, do you have a code or anything for it? It's like, pay for it, honestly. It'll be the best whatever it costs to. That's
it. And there's so many people in the same boat as you, Dave, and it's just they promote it just off themselves. We've never asked anyone to post. I mean, in a workout we might say, give us a post, give us a tag on Instagram. If you do, it's a flippant one, and it's every blue moon we'll say. It's not like we're driving people to do it, because we know organically. I guarantee you, Dave, these people you said before about not wanting to leave here. these people who won't even want to turn that video off once it comes to the end.
Yeah.
Because they just want to, they just think, oh, I don't even want this to end. And
You,
then,
you messaged me, didn't you, asking for some, you'll message me not getting any feedback and things like that, and the one thing I said to you as well is,
leave it on.
at the end, just leave it on for a little bit, because
This is like cool, like is it
I think you were probably trying to make it a little bit shorter for people and things
That's
like
it.
that. And I said, actually, people enjoy that. You can always just turn it off. But I said, I actually enjoy having that debrief at the end.
100%.
But people want to be around positive people, so they could be going into work now with a load of negative people, can't they? They don't want to leave that environment. He's like, oh, I don't want to go off because I'm missing out on them.
Just give me an idea, you know. Just give me an idea. So I'll message you.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see it on the programme. I'm gonna do something though. I've got a good idea.
Yeah.
But the only thing we shortened it was just because some people click on it, and when they see the time length of the video, if it's an hour 10, they're like, I haven't got time for that.
Yeah.
Even before they've done it,
Yeah.
that was one of the reasons. So if they see 55 minutes, yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
1 hour 5, 1 hour 10, it's like, that might be what you're
Yeah.
saying there. That might have been a 10-minute good talk, but they
Yeah.
don't know that.
Yeah.
And then some of them that much of a rush and that naive, they won't even read the description or anything.
Sure.
They'll just go, oh no, I haven't got time for that today, it's too long.
Yeah.
So that's the reason we've kept it short, but I've got a little idea that I'll implement.
Can I ask you, like, there's 3 questions, be quite, like,
Yeah.
it's not, hoping it won't be that quick, but reasonably quick.
I just got a little water refill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
that's
isn't
what
it?
Thanks.
Thanks.
A little something.
Stay.
What about fasting, intermittent fasting? What's your views on that?
Yeah, I've done plenty of it before. I haven't fasted for a long time now. I done Ramadan, so
Yeah.
I fasted then. I fasted then where I was no water or food for the whole day, dusk till dawn. That was an absolute battle. That was the hardest thing I've ever done. I didn't complete it. I'd done about 22 days and then failed. But I was happy with the 22 days of training, like the whole way through. We were training at 3 a.m. But the fasting aspect, I think, is great if you're trying to lose weight. So you're trying to really lose some weight and lean out, and even for the likes of IBS and stuff like that, if you've got like a stomach, if your stomach's growling at you all the time, when you're eating food and it just feels completely unsettled, then it's a great way of correcting some wrongs. Because when I did get like the liver damage which I described, I used fasting, juicing, all of that type of stuff to try and recorrect it. So it's played a part, but at the same time, I think people are going a little bit OTT now, and I think what's starting to happen is people are training really hard, but then under-eating, and they're not getting the right nutrients or the right protein in the short time that they're giving themselves to eat for the intermittent fasting. So you've got to make sure if you're going to do it right. Do it right. Make sure you're getting a good amount of food in the time that you're eating. Make sure that you're eating the right foods when you are eating as well, not just anything. You see these people who will just stuff themselves because they think I've fasted for 16 hours, but not the case. And you've just got to make sure you're doing it right. Plenty of water. Understanding as well that if you're going to have coffees and stuff in the morning, you broke your fast. If you have a black coffee, it's still really breaking your fast because your liver's having to work to deal with the caffeine. But definitely milk and stuff like that. So these people who say, yeah, I'm fasting, but you're drinking a latte, you're not. Yeah. So that's one tip I would give again for practical reasons. Don't think that you're fasting if you're drinking anything with a calorie in whatsoever. So that's one tip. But then also, you've got to the full day fasting and stuff. I think they're great, but again, in moderation. Don't do it all the time. If you're feeling unsettled in your stomach, if you're feeling really fatigued mentally and stuff, or you're feeling really stressed, maybe you have a day of not eating, plenty of water, walk, don't do like an intense workout, don't do a ShredFast, just walk in nature for maybe an hour or so, plenty of water, and a great time to do it, again, so you can put it into practice, is 6 p.m. till 6 p.m. So that neither night are you going to bed hungry.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to do it, a full day fast. So eat your last meal on a Sunday, say, 6 p.m, and then don't eat all day till tea time next day. It's not hard. It's really not hard to do.
You get people stuffing their face before the 6 o'clock.
But this is what I'm saying. There's no point in doing it if that's how the mentality you've got, man. Like, what are you doing it for? Are you trying to cleanse the body? If so, eat really nutritious the day before. fast, and then eat really nutritious the day following, and you feel $1 million. But don't eat shit fast, eat shit. Yeah. That's going to not do anything.
People starting the diet on a Monday and Sunday night they're like all out, isn't they?
It's just, honestly,
that's what happens,
it's no good. But I've done a 2-day fast on it there, and it's very, very hard.
Your lifestyle would be hard for it with the amount you train, though, isn't it?
It was hell on earth, honest to God. I struggled so much, but I'm convinced after doing more research onto it, but it's because my body fat's so low. The lads who were carrying a little bit didn't suffer anywhere near as much as me and Joe did. Yeah. Me and Joe were in a way they had. Joe's heart rate went to 180, just sat here like this. Whereas my body must have just been needing food.
What body fat are you at the moment?
I'd probably say about 7% maybe.
You couldn't go any lower than that.
I don't try to have low body fat, brother. I like in any way.
You said you never carried fat though, have you, as a kid?
Never. My body fat. I got it done both days for both years from the DEXA scan. It was 6.2 and then 6.7. Both years in my scholar. I was carrying a lot less muscle then. Definitely would have went up slightly from them, but not too much. I've been the exact same physique, honest to God. I mean, I was 70 kilos at Everton at 16. I'm now 80 kilos at 33. So I haven't, for this PhD stuff and that, I definitely haven't took anything because I put much more weight on than that. Like, this is my natural body now, just with the muscle, just with an increase in muscle mass. You know what I'm saying? It literally just crept up. From 16, I was 70 kilos, I remember that specifically. 17, I was probably about 72, 73. 18, I went to about 74, 75. And then from then, it was just a really gradual increase. I remember being around 76 for years. Then I was around 78 for years. And then now, I don't really go below 80, and that's only been probably the past year. I haven't really dropped below 80. I'm about 83 kilos now. So it's just a gradual increase, and I don't try and keep low body fat. I wouldn't recommend people to try and keep a really low body fat out there. I'd recommend that you eat nutritious whole foods, fast as and when is necessary. Don't think that skipping breakfast is always the way to do it, just because it's gone from you should eat breakfast to now you shouldn't eat breakfast, and it was all a lie to get you to consume food. It's what works for you. I eat before the train. If you feel like you like to train on an empty stomach, train on an empty stomach. It's completely up to you. Just make it work for you. I just try not to push any way too much, because people hold on every word now if people don't be.
Really people will listen to everything you say. You've got a lot of responsibility, haven't you, now in your role?
And I'm aware of that, so I don't like to say don't eat food, don't do this, drink that, don't take this supplement. It's just kind of like, this is what I'm doing at the minute. This is what I'm taking, this is how I'm eating. This is working for me, but please. Like I had a little joke yesterday with the pepper. I was with Connor then. I put the pepper on the steak and said, pepper increases testosterone by 150%. And Connor goes, does it? I said, no, lad, no. And then I done a message after it and said, lads, don't be putting copious amounts of pepper on your steaks, you know what I mean? Chill out, I was only messing. So there's a lot of responsibility, because people will hang on to you every word, so you've got to be careful, and misinformation is one of the biggest problems we've got in this world right now.
Do you get nervous about anything these days then? In business?
The smallest, slightest bit of nerves doing like the Box Park event the other day, where you're on stage, you're just speaking on a speaker. That was a little bit of like, but no.
So you haven't got any specific strategies to cope with nerves or anything?
I'd say I probably have, but like internal dialogue is just, I couldn't really sit here now. If you were to ask me, then I could probably think, but yeah, it's a good question, that. But in terms of nerves, I just go into this mentality of just do it. Just do it. Just like ripping a band-aid off. That's my mentality in life. Just boom, do. Just go.
That must have been amazing. Box Park,
brilliant.
I mean, to get to that level where you're doing these huge events.
It was amazing, honestly, like it really was. And again, people flying over and stuff like that. That was a great day, a brilliant day to see. And a totally different environment, different atmosphere, different feel of the whole thing. Not in the heat. People were still drenched. So you got to see that ShredFast does what it says on the tin. Whether you're in a hot room or not, you always get, you staying in a hot room there because you see the sweat. But so it was brilliant. The music, smoothies, young, old. Like all different body types, all different ethnicities, just amazing. Amazing, bro.
Last question then, what books or podcasts would you recommend for people?
books, I would recommend Think and Grow Rich, 100%. Atomic Habits, 100%. No Excuses by Brian Tracy. That's a brilliant book, absolutely fantastic book. That's probably my best. That or Think and Grow Rich, because Think and Grow Rich switched my mindset. If you're at your really early stages of negative thought patterns, then I'd say The Secret is a great book to read, because it's very simple, it's almost childlike. It's a great book to read your children, that too.
That was my journey, but I've spoken about how negative I used to be as a player. I always think about injuries all the time. Why am I never fit? Always get injured, and that was affecting my body massively. And my big turning point was a physio gave me the secret, actually bought me a book, gave me The Secret to read. That changed my life. But off there, it was very basic, but that's what I needed at that point to comprehend. And then Think and Grow Rich.
It's amazing foresight from that physio.
It's the greatest book ever written. Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think the energy, when we spoke about energy, I think there's a certain energy in that book that it may not even necessarily be what he's saying. Is exactly like out of this world or transformational or any different than all the other self-help book, but the energy in which that was written with, I think, holds true power. And I think if you read it with a pure heart and you ingest that information, it will change your life.
So that's a book you need to be ready to read.
Yeah.
I don't think you can just, Joe Public couldn't just go pick it up and say, I'm going to read it. I don't think it wouldn't
Well, if
resonate.
we're talking about that, then I'd say No Excuses. Yeah. That'll get you out of this weak mindset of having an excuse and having a problem for every solution.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It will shift that mindset, and Atomic Habits will give you practical ways and habits to implement into your life to start to change it. A short book as well that's good is Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy also. That's really short. That's a great book. And the last one is Make Your Bed. There's one called Make Your Bed. That's about like an army sergeant who's just, again, small habits
Simple
of
things,
doing things that will just have a big effect in the long run.
Luke, thank you so much. I mean, that is fascinating, amazing. What an amazing story. Like, we're so privileged that you've come on our podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you, honestly, for having me. It's an honour to be on, boys.
Listeners, viewers, thank you very much. Give us some feedback on that. I thought that was incredible. I'm sure you'll agree. Let us know your thoughts, and thanks very much for listening.
Yeah. Make sure you check out ShredFast as well. Instagram at shred.fast, isn't it?
Shred.fast, yeah. And shredfastprogram.co.uk for the website.
And if you're looking to get into, say it's not fitness, health, just healthy lifestyle, you have to do it. That's from me. I've done it. You have to do it, 100%.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.